shoulders, knocking out the competition. The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie. You're listening to the
Good evening,
Fighters
ladies
Voice.
and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And unlike our guest today, Fernando Vargas Jr., we're simply knocking out the competition. We're going to bring up topics about the big fight this weekend, Canelo versus Charlo. And also we're going to talk about that DNA that runs deep in the Fernando Vargas family. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today. Welcome to the show, Fernando. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, my man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, a little setback, technical difficulties. It happens. It comes with the science. Nevertheless, here we are, my man. I mean, welcome to the Fighter's Voice. The platform is yours.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you having me.
Listen, man, I've been watching your fights, man. I mean, you've been fighting more fluently. You've been in the gym a lot more. I can see a different fire in your eyes. I can see the dedication being rekindled. Not saying that it left. I just see that, there's levels in this sport. I see you moving up to that next level, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Tell us about your second coming to this sport. I say that because of the journey that you're on and where you're at today.
Yeah, I just feel myself more hungry. You know, I feel myself really putting everything together, and you really apply yourself, and you really let go of all the antics outside the ring. And you really focus, and you really lock in, and you have a great, tremendous team behind you. I mean, man, sky's the limit. I just putting it together. Um, My brothers have been putting it together. I mean, we just keep seeing star-studded knockouts. Um, One knockout from Emiliano, you see myself and my other brother Malo being active, and it's a beautiful thing because when we win together. So, the fights that we can make for the other brothers, we call it a dynasty for a reason. Granted, we still have to create our own steps, but it's a dynasty because of the bloodline that we come from. So we're very proud of that. We're proud of everyone involved. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. Egis Klimas. You got, what I'm saying, Jose de la Cruz. It's just an unbelievable team that's being put together and really making us and allowing us to shine the way we have been. So we're very appreciative for everyone involved. My dad really on our ass, bro. Doesn't let us, what I'm saying, cut corners because he's an old school type of coach, and he would take discipline any day over talent. And that's the type of trainer my dad is. And like I've said before in previous past, he's gonna get trainer of the year one day, and I truly believe it. With all three of us, he don't gotta go too far. His champions are in home, are here from his bloodline. So again, easier said than done, but we're willing to work for whatever it is.
I'm going to mention a word, and it's on the topic that you've been talking about, and describe to me what this means, what it means to you. So really think back of where you're at today. I'm going to say the word sacrifice. What does that word mean to you, and how strong is it in your career?
It's something that I've had to learn to accept because, look, anything great, anything that's going to cost you is obviously going to be worthwhile, and anything short is not long lived. So definitely something in boxing that I've learned to just through myself, through trial and error. Hey, cutting corners. All right, this is what it's going to give you. But the more sacrifice, the more discipline, the more hungry you are by being in the gym. Granted, we get so much attention and love because we are a son's legend, and maybe that could, affect our hunger. But at the end of the day, because of the attention and eyeballs we get, but I think when you truly just want to become great and we truly want to be the best you could be, man, sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? So sacrifice is, at the end of the day, for me, something that, I'm learning to become my friend. And like Canelo says, you will go as far as your discipline will take you. So, it's easier said than done, my bro. But it's like, for a lot of fighters, yes, you could be talented, but if you have different antics outside the ring, or if you're not as hungry, there's someone that is starving, has no opportunity, does not have a legend father, and we understand that. So, you gotta welcome it. You gotta just welcome sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, just embrace it, make it yours, own it. Because you make it yours, you own it. You take control over it. You take
Yes,
authority of it, and
absolutely.
you're the one that who lets it manifest you, so you can proclaim ownership to it, and you become the best that you can become.
Amen. I believe that.
That's right. I want to ask you, what has changed since your dad has walked into the ring till now that you guys are walking in the ring? How has the sport changed?
The sport has changed tremendously. I think, Floyd had a lot to do with boxers becoming businessmen. The sport was just
Very
nothing
true.
but, well, it's a poor man's sport. If you make it, you make it big. If you don't, you're not making too much money. I think Floyd and the cameras and the antics and showing the money and the cars and the women made a lot of fighters, pick up this a lot of young fighters pick it up for the wrong reasons maybe, but regardless, nevertheless, he did change the sport as far as, hey, these people, these promoters, these managers, they're going to use you, abuse you, for as long as you're undefeated. As soon as you take a loss, your value goes down. And I think even he, because of his persona, um made it to where the promoters and the managers, hey, you take one loss, all this stuff goes away. If I lose, if Amado loses, if Emiliano loses, all this dynasty hoorah stuff goes out the door, bro. So, like you said, you gotta fall in love with the discipline. I think back then it was a lot of hungry fighters that didn't fight for money. They just fought for glory. They fought for honor. And my dad at 154. I mean, man, back then you had killers. You had
Yep.
Trinidad. You had, I mean, think about the times that my dad was
Ike
fighting. It
Corte,
was really
Oscar,
I Corte, Raul Marquez. I mean,
Campas.
it was a tough time to become world champion. Now,
Yes.
you have a cute little left hook. You could put some asses in seats, and all of a sudden you're this superstar. So I just think the level of fighting back then, I think from '96, the '96 Olympic team, I think that was the last of the warriors, and just they were just cut different, man. They were cut different. Now it's just Jake Paul, social media. You see the 50 chains and shit. Even I wear some chains sometimes because of the generation I live in. But I just think back then people really valued fighters like my dad because, hey, he had about 5 losses, but I mean, you were on your edge of your seat and you appreciate those fights now
Yep.
that people are not really fighting in this TikTok fighters and social media fighters. So look, I don't knock anyone for getting the bag, but it's just different. The motives were just different. And I think the cloth was different. So
Very well said. I will say this as I followed your dad's career. Your dad never ducked anybody in his career. Never.
never, ever.
Um, he took those L's just like he took those W's with honor. And he's exactly who he says he is. He met you in the middle of the ring and he banged with the best. He knocked out the best. He's lost to some of
Yes,
the best. And he's lived
yes,
another day to have you three and proclaim you three as the best because that DNA's there. And I
yes,
believe God continues to fill his cup as he did when he walked in the
yes.
ring and continues to overflow his cup
The
because
overflow.
he cannot even imagine what's in store for you and what's
I
coming
know.
your way.
Thank you.
And see, a lot of fathers, Fernando, they really can't give back. They're not the best coach or they're not the best advisory team. Your father has a good thing going for him because, first of all, he's a man of God, and
Yes.
he'll give you his last breath. There's no ifs or buts to
Oh,
it. I mean, he reminds me of myself the way I'm passionate about my kids. You're in
yeah.
good hands with your father. The rest is up to you. Like you said, your own
Yeah.
journey, your own name, your own destiny. But nevertheless, it's that DNA.
That's right.
What has been the hardest for you to transition to since being able to I don't want to say a separation. Your younger brother is signed with Top Rank. Both you and
Yes.
your other brother, Emiliano, are signed with Marv Nation.
Yes.
I don't call that a separation. I call that a transition because you
Yeah.
guys would always show up together at one point in time, and now there's you're very active with Marv Nation, and
Hmm.
your brother's being active with Top Rank. And Top Rank, they love the knockouts, they love the flashiness, and your brother's able to bring them that. Marv Nation doesn't just sign anybody; they sign contenders that are leading their way to be champions. So
Yes.
what's been the most transition or difficulty for you? Is there in fact have been difficulty?
I just think at the end of the day, look, I take my hat off to Top Rank because right now they're the biggest platform in sports, period. And everything that's coming from my brother's way, he earned it. He deserved it. He put his hands to the plow since he was a young kid, and he deserves it. This is one thing that the fans will never do from us. I mean, we just posted a video of us, me and my younger brother Amado doing mitts. I mean, we go anywhere, we'll hit mitts. We'll go to the beach, we'll hit some mitts, bro. Like, but see, the fans will never separate us. You could write a comment. The two older brothers are clowns. The only one that's going to be champion is the youngest brother. He's the only one really signed to a promotional company. But it's okay. Let them continue to tune in. Let them continue to doubt. Because, like you said, Marv Nation, they're giving me and Amalo the opportunity,
Yep.
right? So now people didn't believe in us. But guess what? Marv Nation did. Because our next fight, me and Amalo, it's on the zone. So it's like, look, maybe they can box a little bit, but regardless of the fact, the fans will never separate us. So me and my older brother, us being older brothers, we're I mean, you guys see us when we're there. We're so proud when Emiliano,
Yeah.
does what he does because we've been doing this dynasty thing since the amateurs. So when sometimes when our fight dates are a little close, you know, and we're not able to show up for the other brother, it's like, man, I can't be there. But he understands, like, okay, you got to lock in because you fight in like a week or two. So, but when we can be there, that's the love that we genuinely have for each other. But to answer your question, I understand the separation, and you see the comments, and you do, and we see all these things, right? But all it does for me is it puts me for my back against the wall, being like a normal person, being like, not the son of a legend, and I have to prove myself. So me and Amado got to go out there and we got to show that we're really the real deal too. Not everybody is going to be a fan of the dynasty. Who wants to see three brothers win? A lot of people do, but I just feel not everybody does, and it's okay. I think that's what sports are about. Hey, this guy sucks, or hey, I like the Raiders, or I
Yeah.
like the Steelers, or whatever the case may be. That's the position we're in. We chose to pick this up. So when people say that, when we see comments, you know, we sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, it may get to us because we're human, But at the end of the day, we won't engage no more because we just got to keep our head down. You're seeing that we're getting active fights.
Yep.
We're letting our actions speak for ourselves. And when that opportunity comes for 16, 17, 18 and 0, then we'll see what's really cooking. So, like you said, though, we got to continue to keep our head down, continue to remain humble, continue to remain the dynasty that we are, and continue to make our pops proud. And that's all we could do.
Hey, you're bringing excitement to Marv Nation. You really are. You guys are bringing a following, and like I said,
Me and
off
Amado
camera
sold out the
hashtag.
Ogden Arena. 10,000 people. It was a 10,000 arena,
Yeah.
crowd arena, and me and Amado sold that out. So I mean, we may do something, okay.
Oh, believe me, they're at Marv Nation. They know what time it is. Marv knows what time it is, and I'm about to
That's
give him
right,
a gift. His
my
hashtag,
God.
Marv Nation, taking the next generation by storm.
Yes, I like that. I like that. And you got to put the fighter's voice right there.
Exactly. The only voice that matters, of course, only on the fighter's
That's right.
voice. So Marv, I know you hear this. Hey, brother, I've been pulling Marv's jacket for a little while. I've been telling
Have
him
you?
this, Fernando. I said, give me the microphone. Let me commentate a fight.
Let me put in the word. Let me put in the word to see what he's talking about.
Hey, let's see it. Exactly. I'll go down there and do your fight. And believe me, I'm not there to embarrass
No,
myself.
Evan
So I
on the
will rock
zone.
that mic. Trust me.
You got it. It's a big opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be there in a heartbeat. Bro, in a heartbeat. I hit him up at wherever I see him. And I
Yeah,
tell him,
he's
I send
awesome,
him
guy.
my work constantly over and over again. I think I even asked your
Awesome.
dad one time. I said, hey, Fernando, can you manage me? And he goes, manage you in what? And I said, get the podcast going, man, because whatever your dad says right now, bro, it's blessings
Golden.
galore coming out of it.
Yeah. And it's biblical. Honor that mother and that
Absolutely.
live a long life. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm not claiming perfect. I may cuss here or there. I may contradict myself, but one thing we know me and my family know is that we get our strength from the Lord. So we're just appreciative, honestly, even with all that in the comments and this and which one is better and which one will be the quickest world champion. Will he be? Is all that is great. It's all great. So none of it would be possible without the fans. The love outweighs all those little comments, and we just have a tremendous amount of love for the fans because I mean, man, you guys have been loyal fans since my dad was fighting. I mean, even you said you remember seeing my dad fight. You didn't know what my dad was gonna do in the press conferences. Like, is he gonna swing on him? Is he gonna, you know?
I remember your dad pulled up his shirt and said, you don't see abs like this on a Mexican." I
Yeah,
remember all
Mexicans
those
aren't
comments,
supposed to
bro.
look like this.
Bro, yeah, exactly. He goes, he said, "You don't see no tortillas in this."
That's right.
All that and Jim Lampley, the legend. I mean, got emotional
Yes,
talking about your father, and
you
that's
remember that?
first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best commentators in the world to do it, the GOAT. And he got all emotional speaking on your father because he knew the ups and downs of his career. He knew that he left his heart inside of the ring and his soul as well, and a piece of him that's still in the ring today. Fernando, let me say this right now. There is still a piece of your father inside of that ring that when he exited the
Love
ring
that.
that he could not bring back with him because he was willing to die in that middle of the ring.
Yes,
They
he
don't make them
was.
like that anymore. That cloth is different. All they care about is what song they're come out to, what shoes they're come out to. Your dad just said, "Give me the gloves, give me my mouthpiece. I did my work. Let's rock and roll, and let's see who's better."
Now we don't. Pops just does what he wants to do, you know. And like, if you wear some like some shit that kind of like is like, why would you wear that? It's like, what are we gonna tell him? Like, we're not trying to get our ass beat, so we just don't say nothing. It's like he can wear what he wants. What are you gonna tell him?
Exactly.
He always says, but can you fuck me up though? I'm like, Dad, no one's trying to fight you, bro. Like, we get it. So that's just him, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like to see some of his videos he makes too, where
Yeah,
where there's somebody on your treadmill and they were telling you guys to calm down or something, and your dad said, "Hey, Vato,
yeah, yeah.
you want to get down right now?" Because you said, "Hey, man, I'm trying to work out or something." And that
Hmm.
video I've watched, it doesn't get old, man. Who comes up
Yeah.
with these clips? Who's the brainstorm behind all these clips?
We have a sponsor, AV Chevy. AV Chevy, does a lot of social media posts and works with influencers like Concrete, and he got us on board. So, we're very appreciative to, the Antelope Valley, Chevrolet dealership, my boy Justin. So, he always takes care of the Vargases. And we've been making videos with him. So, some of it be natural though. Some of it we don't even like really like think about it too much. We just on the fly, just okay, this one we'll do like different things and then we'll be like, oh, this one's cool. Like.
Here's a scenario, and don't take this wrong, and I hope it does not happen. But if there was ever a fire in your house and you had time to grab one thing and pull it out with you, what would it be?
Probably I wouldn't go near the cologne because the fire would want to probably inflame or
Yeah.
engulf me.
Yes.
But uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I might get some fours. I might get some off white fours. You're not burning my off whites, bro.
There you go.
Not burning them up.
There you go. There you go. That shoe game, you put it all in the bag. Just, hey, I got to bring this with me.
Got to
Bring your
bring it with me.
jewelry. You just come up with both hands, right?
I don't know what I'd bring, man. If I probably wouldn't even grab anything, honestly. If something's on fire, I'm dipping. I'm not trying to.
No,
I'm
I know, but if they said, you know what, you can go in there, grab what you one thing and let's go. What would it be?
uh probably that. I want to make sure
Okay.
the next day.
Okay. So you're going packing now. You're going on a vacation.
So I'm gonna pack, and I'm what?
Okay. You're going on vacation. What's the first thing you pack?
Okay. I gotta make sure the underwears is cool. I gotta make sure
Yep.
because when I'm going on vacation, I'm doing other things. So when
I
I'm
hear
going
you.
on vacation, I gotta make sure I have the Versace underwears. All right. We
Yep.
gotta make sure the underwears are good. So we start with the underwears. Then I like to have fresh socks. I'm weird, bro. I like to have the fresh Nike socks whenever I
Yep.
travel because I just like that fresh feeling. And then I don't know, I'll just do the fits from whatever shoes I wear. I always overpack. I'll go somewhere for a day or a weekend, and I'm packing like if I'm moving out somewhere. So
Well, that's a smart thing to do. I thought I did that. I mean, but
nah,
what gets me is I take my stuff to the cleaners, Fernando, and then I board on the plane. The time I get it, I got to use the iron and take the wrinkles out, and because I don't have the hookup just yet when I'm there at the hotel. Like, okay, let me drop these off at the cleaner so they're even popping fresh, But it is what
yes,
it is, man.
exactly, exactly.
What's been what's been the hardest thing for you having the Vargas last name, and what's been the easiest thing for you having the Vargas last name?
Um, I just think the hardest thing for me, you know what I'm saying, is just not playing into the stigmas. I don't pay attention of it. I really try not to because look, people are gonna talk about you, my boy, whether you're doing good, great, terrible, locked up, having three businesses. So I think not involving myself in just the antics. I think one of the easiest things is you know, I don't know, just I think when the kids come up to me, I think I like when kids pick it up and they're like, oh, they look at my videos, or they'll say, hey, bro, like, because kids are innocent, and when the
Yeah.
kids come up to you and they want you to sign something, it just means so much more to me. So I think that's the best thing I think I like about it is when the young kids who have no um, double connotations to their
Yeah,
words, and they're just pure, they're innocent, and
they
when
are.
you inspire something like that, like then it's like, all right, bro, like you're touching lives. So that for me, honestly, is something dope. Like, or like, hey, I was going through this, but now I'm picking up boxing, or maybe let's just say not everyone's gonna be a world champion, right? But if they're picking it up, I mean, boxing teaches you discipline, it teaches you how to eat right. There's a lot of benefits to doing boxing. So when the kids pick it up, it's something that.
Well, let me ask you this now.
And my boy, I'm gonna have to go pretty soon
Yeah,
because
we're gonna
I
end it
got
right
some
here.
people hitting me up.
No, exactly. Check this out. You were on the money when I asked you about Bud Crawford and Spence, about the outcome. You were on the
Yes, I
money.
was
It was
just seeing
right,
that.
yeah, right on the money. And we got that. It's on there. It's documented on the Fighter's Voice. We interviewed you, and that's exactly what you said. Now, I need you to be on the money this weekend, my man.
Okay,
Charlo and Canelo, break down the fight, who wins and why. Because a lot of people could tell you who wins, but a true boxing person will tell you why. Tell us
I
why,
can see it
who it
two
is.
ways. I can see it two ways. I'm gonna tell you the first way. So the first way, I feel Charlo's gonna start sharper than Canelo. Maybe hit him a lot. You know, Canelo is in no rush. I mean, you see, he'll lose a whole fight and then end up knocking you out. I just think he's not the same fighter like when he fought like Josecito Lopez, when he was throwing a lot of punches and bunches. Hey, maybe his defense wasn't as good as it is now, but he wouldn't mind to get hit. But he was throwing so many punches. So we don't have that Canelo no more. I think there's transitions in Canelo's career, just like Floyd. Young pretty boy Floyd was gonna come and knock you out. He jumped with hooks. He was mean. I mean, look
He
at him
was.
with Arturo. Look at him with Diego Corrales. But we have a different Canelo now. We have a older Canelo in age. We have a Canelo who is like Mayweather with the money now. So hey, maybe when they say it's hard to go to work in silk pajamas, maybe, and this is just all I'm thinking, maybe the hunger isn't how it was when he was 19, 20, but nevertheless, he hits like a mule. So I just think he's used to 168. He's used to this caliber of a fight. And I feel Charlo is going to win the early rounds, maybe rock Canelo a few times. I could see that happening. But ultimately, Canelo, you know, um, ended up hurting him, knocking him out, or stopping him. I think Canelo's a second half type of fighter. I think, but there's a lot of criticism. There's a lot of, um, He's been hearing, he feels like his back's against the wall. Canelo, your last performances, you haven't been getting knockouts. Are you still hungry? So, hey, very much so, he's the A side. But from what he's hearing from the fans, and he's been hearing his performances haven't been the same. He's been hearing this, he's been hearing that. I feel we're going to see the best Canelo because he feels like, okay, he feels alive again. Okay, okay. You feel that? You're doubting me? Now, let me go prove you wrong again. Let me show you why I'm the king. So I feel that's going to happen. Now, or we could see a Charlo boxing and punching. I feel you got to do both with Canelo. You can't just box. You got to give him something to respect because Billy Joe Saunders just boxed. And, I mean, you saw what Canelo did and broke his orbital bone. But Phil Charlo has enough power, regardless of the inactivity a year and a half. I think regardless, he's strong. He's a lot stronger. He doesn't have to be so depleted because he's the one that fights at 54, correct?
Yes.
Or 60? 54?
Yeah,
So
154. He's moving up two weight classes,
he's
160 to
weight
168.
classes. He's jumping up 2 weight classes.
Yes.
And just like when Mikey, did Mikey move up 2 weight classes when he
Mikey
fought Earl?
moved up two weight classes to fight
So
Errol
look,
Spence.
he's chasing greatness regardless. You gotta take your head off to Charlo.
Yeah.
Now, whether you think he's getting a money grab, he's just going in there taking a dive for a money grab or not, we will see Saturday. But I don't think he's doing that. I really feel he feels he could beat Canelo because of his last performances. And as a fighter, you don't want to just go out like that. So, look, styles make fights. I feel I could see Charlo maybe outboxing him the whole fight, and Canelo because he can't throw so many punches, or he doesn't throw as many punches anymore. Him having to play catch up and him looking desperate for the knockout, and he can't get the knockout. If you fight a style like Bivol to Canelo, not just let your boom in and out, bye, you don't stay there, and you fight at your distance. It could be a fight that Charlo could win. I'm not saying unanimous. You're gonna have to decisively beat Canelo because you're not just gonna beat Canelo on a maybe decision. But I could see him outpointing Canelo and Canelo just wanting to try to knock him out. Far stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's wild, but I could see that happening too.
No,
but I think Canelo will stop him, not knock him out.
I think you're on the money. I'm going to go out on a limb and I say Canelo does not win a decision. If it goes the distance, it does not win a decision. I think Charlo's going to bank a lot of rounds in the books, put him in the bag. After 6 rounds, I'm going to have Charlo winning the fight, the first half of the fight. Canelo's going to have to stop him and needs his best performance. Teofimo Lopez had 2 bad performances, came back and shocked the world, beating an undefeated, pound for pound, undisputed champion in Josh Taylor. You got to remember, I mean, people could say things about Loma. I still think Loma won the fight. I think Devin Haney was awarded the fight. There's 2 separate things here. So in this fight, I think you're going to see a sharper Canelo coming on, pouring it on strong in the second half of the fight. If he doesn't get that TKO victory, he is not getting a decision. I see Charlo putting a lot of rounds in the bank, and
I see it like that
too.
Too.
Style. He's not going to mix it up. He's going to stick and move, and it's up to Canelo to neutralize that, make him bang, go to the body early, and like you said, he's going to fill him out for about maybe 2 rounds. Don't fill him out for 3 rounds. Don't give Charlo any momentum going into the second half of the fight, but look for Canelo to take over the second half of the fight. Fernando, only if he invests in the body.
Yes. You got it right on the money, my man. That's the way I see it. So
that's my take, man. And we got your take here. I appreciate you taking the time coming on the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. Hey, put the bug in my man's ear. This platform is your platform, Fernando. Whenever you want to dump some news on here, hey, give me a call. We'll make it happen. I want to one day have all you guys on at the same time. We'll have a great time. But hey, how can we follow you? How can we stay in contact with you? Let the fans know where they can follow and support Fernando Vargas Jr.
Appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram. Very active on Instagram, Fernando Vargas _Jr. And right there, you'll be getting the, info for our next fight. November 11th is our next fight date. We will put the logistics. We'll put all the info at a later time, but it will be on DAZN. So don't you miss it. Go on DAZN now. Download the app and make sure you don't miss it because I'm the main event. Malo's the co-main, and it's just a Vargas takeover. Maybe my little sister China's gonna do the national anthem. Who knows? But it's a Vargas takeover and
There
Vargas
you go.
Dynasty. Vargas para rato, cabrones.
There you go. You heard it. Hey, make sure you get that app on the Zone, and make
Let's
sure
go.
you follow Marv Nation, one of the hottest promoters,
Yeah.
managers out there in the sport today. Taking over,
go.
he's taking baby steps, but he's no longer taking baby steps. He's taking human body steps. And when I
Go.
say that, because he's putting bodies in the seats, bodies on the canvas. And remember, Marv Nation's about to take over the whole industry. You heard it from my man, Fernando Vargas Jr. And as always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember,
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.